How are you?
Pretty nice. Hey, Tin.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Hey there. I'm great. How are you guys? Just put my baby girl to bed, so I'm good.
Nice. How are you? Ed? Hey, how are you, Elliot?
Well, I'm good. I'm good as well. Thanks for asking. It seems like it's a
Docs.
recurring theme that I get doxxed every AMA, right?
Yeah.
Ed is nothing, right? Ed is just it can be an Edward, knows, right?
That's true. That's true.
So, guys, we have a lot of things to talk about today, right? And before we go into that, Tin, we mentioned investor announcements today, but we are not going to go ahead with that. Yeah. Any update on investor announcement and exactly when can we show that to the members?
Yeah. Sure. So firstly, I apologize to our Discord, our members, because we thought we can announce today. Unfortunately, some of our investors are very psyched and super excited about this news. This basically seed round announcement. So they wanted us to do a real, big blast of PR, which we're working on. And the tentative date is around the 26th. So stay tuned for that. But that will be the big date where all guns will be firing on all cylinders when it comes to PR. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Tin. Yeah, thanks. So, guys, today we'll be talking about, of course, last week got
Hey, Crypt, your
announced.
your voice
That's
your
right.
voice is your voice is breaking up. Like your sound is breaking up. Can you fix your
Hello,
mic or
hello,
something?
testing. Better.
A lot better.
A lot better. Yeah.
Okay, can. So we announced about the Dutch auction and, of course, the Nexus program last week, guys. So today we'll be talking about these two things, and of course, True and Elion are here to help us to elaborate on this news as well, right? So first of all, let's start with, of course, the Nexus, right? Ed, maybe you want to start first. Actually, how did we come up with the idea of the Nexus itself, and what do we aim to do with the Nexus program?
Right. So there was actually a thought piece that Tin shared with the mods um, a month back, right? When we were actually building our community where, we actually had the Cipher Inu launch. And this was something that we actually had spent quite a lot of thought on. So just to summarize the article, it was basically sharing how the state of affairs in the NFT world is that most of us are just generally creating towns in the middle of nowhere, right? There are no real incentives or amenities to actually incentivize people to stay, enjoy their time, contribute to building the town, and everyone benefits through that. So that was the central theme and focus that the whole team actually anchored our Nexus program on, right? It was generally about how can we build a community with you guys, right? Um,
Mhm.
Building what is necessary that the community feels, what the community enjoys, and at the same time, um, how can we reward the community and its builders through a system that we're devising. So that's actually what brought the Nexus expansion program to life.
Thanks, Aaron. I think you got anything to add on this? Basically, the birth of the Nexus program and how are we
Hey, Crypt,
going to do it?
your
Yeah.
voice is cutting up again.
Oops. Let me just remove my mic. True, you wanna take over? Well,
Yeah. What were you asking?
Is there anything else you guys want to add to the
Yeah.
how we
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
came
Uh,
about to the Nexus expansion?
Yeah. I think it's good to elaborate. I mean, I want to elaborate also on Erlon
mm,
point there is that it has been a long time sort of like effort by the team to come up with a system that are sustainable, that have like longevity, and that allow us to experiment as well, to experiment with what could work, how could it be improved, how can be adjusted over time. And so when we came up with the idea of the program, all those were the factors we kept in mind. And I think what we arrived at today is a pretty good first shot at something that I think can be really innovative and uh, first of its kind, to be very honest with you. And however, nothing is set in stone. We're very open for feedback, advice, and throughout the journey. And we can hope it, like I said, is made by community and for community. So we hope we can improve it along with you guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Tin. So, for those who don't know what the Nexus program is and have no idea what you guys are talking about, True, you want to elaborate on what exactly is the Nexus program?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, the Nexus expansion program. So just to make sure that we kind of like explain each thing. So the Nexus, when we see the Nexus, we are considering that to be essentially our community, like where our community lives in this digital world, right? And in terms of the expansion program, what we mean by that is we want to further improve it, like Ting was saying. We want to build out these amenities. We want to build a reason for our community members to still be here, and we want to do this with mainly or primarily the help of the community itself. So we know that there's a lot of talented individuals out there. We know that there's been a lot of ideas that have been shared with us, and we would like to make these possible. But unfortunately, a lot of the team's time is spent in the creation of the game because we want to bring the game as quick as we can. So we thought, okay, in addition to helping create this environment that is good for all of us, we can make use of these talented individuals from our community, and to help with this, we will be creating a community wallet, which will be funded by different things, but primarily will be through the Dutch auction from the Neko Dutch auction. Sorry. And so the way we're envisioning it is, and you can read all about it, and there's a link in the Get Started for the Nexus program. But as a summary, essentially, it's a system in which there's a council of 9, and the community members would ultimately be creating proposals where they would specify, and these creators we call the builders. They would essentially be creating proposals of certain projects or initiatives. It can be anything from whether it's like some tools or software that can help the community members, whether it's with their NFTs or whether it's for in-game purposes, etc. Or it could be anything such as initiatives like tournaments or in real life events or meetups. And so there's many different uses for these community wallet funds, and essentially they will be led by the community. There's a whole system, and I would suggest, if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, make sure that you read that, the Nexus expansion program, and there's a lot more detail in there. Let
Thanks,
me know
True.
if I.
So, yeah. You mentioned earlier there was this thing about, of course, the community wallet and, of course, the builders, right?
Mhm.
Maybe one of you, Arion, Tin, or True, want to expand on what does it take to exactly be a builder in the Nexus program?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I can take a first step at this, and then can you guys help me also
Mhm.
elaborate, right, on what you think? Because I think builders, for me, it can mean many things, but essentially, it's the people who are here every day, building the Cipher universe. And by builder, you don't have to be a coder or an artist on the Cipher team. A builder here means that you're a great community helper. You help around, you help your fellow Cipher friends and new members to Discord. You help them find facts. You help them find all the information they need. You help so that's one
Oh,
kind of
Tin, you
builder.
cut off a bit. Sorry.
Oh,
Can
really?
you repeat
Okay.
that sentence? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, builders can be many, many things. It can be a very helpful Discord member. It can be, a really good a developer, programmer who thinks of some really cool tooling items that can help when the game is released. There can be a builder who is really good at hosting offline events that later on, after this whole COVID madness is over, where we can finally get to do like or where to meet people in real life, then a builder can be that. So to me, builder can mean many things, and that there are many ways to contribute to the Cipher community. Yeah.
So basically, almost anyone can be a builder, lah, right? It doesn't have to have any strict requirements. Elion, do you want to add on to Tin's point?
Yeah, Tim basically covered all the points there about the builders of Cytheria, right? So generally, how it will run is you'll be able to actually join the builders of Cytheria and then if you actually have an idea or a project that you would like to bring to life. This is one of the avenues, right, to be a builder. It can be a on Discord event, or like Tim said, at True said as well, offline events. Things that are tournaments. You could organize them. You could plan things like I don't know, D&D, for example. So all these things, as long as you're contributing to the community and the experience of the community, you are actually considered a builder of Cypheria.
So who will make? Who are the ones who actually give the role of builder to our community members?
So for now, in the first, or rather the first phase of the Nexus program, right? The people who will be awarding the builder of Cypheria will be the mods for now. However, as we expand and we scale, we believe that the builders of Cypheria, the organization itself, will become a more autonomous organization, and members can be decided by the internal members itself.
Thanks, Elion. So, True, anything to add on the builders? If not, we can move on to the financiers, of course.
Yeah, no, I would say, as a builder, like if you're thinking about creating a project or leading an initiative, it doesn't need to necessarily be like a ton of people in your team. Like it just depends on the scope and the level of the project that you're planning to launch. So it could be anywhere from a team of one person to multiple people. But yeah, it should be, of course, planned out and thought out well in the proposal. But yeah, nothing additional to what was mentioned.
Thank you. Now we move on to a next portion of role, right, which is the financiers of Cypheria. True, we'd like to elaborate a bit more on what are financiers and how do we get the role of a financier?
Sure. So a financier for our scope, the way we see it is they are essentially the individuals that essentially provide funds to certain projects, and this could be whether it's through the like direct donation into the community wallet. They can just donate it and specify like, okay, and essentially the Council of Nine is the ones that they are kind of like responsible on the release of funds, etc. But and we will explain that later. But essentially, they can donate. The financiers can donate the funds to the community wallet, and they could either say, hey, this is going to be used for, or this should be used for this type of project, or they could just donate it for any general purposes. Or they could also be funders of projects on their own, but that is outside of the scope of our Nexus expansion program.
Thanks, True.
And,
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned Council of Nine as well. At this point, would you like to elaborate, Tin or Ellen? Would you like to elaborate what does the Council of Nine do, and how are they formed actually?
Yeah, Aaron, you want to take a stab at this?
Yeah, sure. Hang on. Should we? Okay, you know what? Yeah, we'll talk about the Council of Nine and maybe circle back a little to the financiers of Cypheria, because all the roles generally are quite entwined. They interact together, right, to actually bring the Nexus expansion to life. So let's talk about the Council of Nine. Right, the Council of Nine is actually formed by 9 members within our Discord community. One person from the core team, which basically gives context on how Cypher's direction will go. 2 other members from the mod team. These are volunteer mods. 3 faction leaders, one leader from each faction, and 3 community members. So these make up 9 members of the council. These people actually have the authority, or rather the responsibility as well, to actually vet through proposals that are made by the builders, the community, as well as then deciding whether to push a proposal for a community vote. So they are basically our first filter. They will determine whether a project is um, aligns with our general community's interest, whether
Mm-hmm.
they represent the interests of the community, as well as whether it's favorable for our community before actually going ahead. So if someone proposes something like, um, yeah, we should just donate all the ETH to X person, the Council of Nine
Mm-hmm.
exists to block that, right? Because it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
favor the community per se.
So it's the
Um,
first gateway, right? So if
Correct.
anything comes through, it comes through the Council of Nine first, correct? Yep.
Correct. Which is why it's
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so important, right? That our
Mm-hmm.
community votes in the Council of Nine. These people should represent the community's interest, and therefore the community should select wisely who will be representing them.
So any member in our community can get into the Council of Nine, actually, right?
Yes, through the faction leaders post, 3 seats, as well as the
Mm-hmm.
community leaders post. So there were some questions about faction leaders in the Nexus clarification thread, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what would actually happen, since we're on this topic, when when the Nexus expansion program goes live, there would be an election within each of the factions itself, right? The the election will be for the faction leader, who will also hold the position of the Council of Nine. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you guys are interested in knowing more about their tenure, right? Basically, how long do they sit on the Council of Nine? We do have an article under the Cypherian Council of Nine um, uh, tab, right? Or rather,
Yeah. Okay.
the site article where you can actually view. Um, on top of that, the community leaders. So these are basically members that need not be voted in by the faction itself.
See, thank you, Tin. You got anything to add on this part? The Council of Nine.
Yeah, I think lastly is I think the Council of Nine should basically be the 9 people who represent the interests of the community at heart, right? I imagine they can come from all walks of life. They can come from all sorts of profession. They don't need to be like a PhD or like a super talented artist. They don't have to be. They just have to have the community's interest at heart, and they're here for the long run. They're here for the long haul. And preferably they've been with us since the very early days, since the very first Inu sales, if possible, because they would know, how we started, how we got here, and where we're going. Yeah.
Thanks, Tin. So for the builders and the financiers, everything, the Council of Nine, like we mentioned, is a gateway, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
gateway also has access to the community wallet, correct? And Ellen, would you like to elaborate more on the community wallet and how does the Council of Nine actually interact with the community wallet?
Right. The community wallet is actually stewarded by our citizens of Cypheria. Basically, you guys who are listening in, who own Cipher NFTs, you actually have voting rights to vote in the Council of Nine, as well as to approve or reject any proposal set forth by the Council of Nine. So even if like Cryptus mentioned, the Council of Nine is the first gateway. However, you guys are actually the final gateway, right? You guys actually
Mm,
determine whether any funds are dispersed and any projects are approved. So that's how
okay,
the Council of Nine interacts with our citizens of Cypheria, or basically the stewards of the community wallet here.
thank you. True, do you have anything to add on that part?
Mm, yeah, just to clarify, kind of like how the process goes. Essentially, uh, like you guys were mentioning, so the Council of Nine will review the proposals initially, and make sure that it's aligned with the community and Cipher, and then once they approve that, essentially goes up for vote for the community to vote. Once it's passed, that's when the money or funding can actually go into the projects, and then there will be also a monitoring process where the Council of Nine will be involved, and they'll essentially make sure that each of these projects or initiatives are actually following their proposal in terms of like budget, timeline, deliverables, etc.
So the Council of Nine actually monitors the project progress as well, lah, right? All the way
Right.
through
Yeah.
to completion. Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay. Can.
One more thing I would like to add, right? The role of the Council of Nine is really important, and they hold a lot of responsibility. As such, we have actually discussed that this should not be a pure voluntary position. It is actually the Council of Nine will actually be paid a base stipend um, from the community
Oh,
wallet
okay.
for their efforts in managing, monitoring, as well as looking through the proposals.
Oh,
We
that's
think it's
great.
we think
Mhm.
it's only fair that way.
Yep.
In this case, do we want to come to the part whereby the Council of Nine also need to be reveal a bit of their personal info, to be awarded these amenities stuff, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we actually had a pretty in-depth discussion on some of the requirements to be elected to the Council of Nine. Given that you guys or the council is actually will be in contact with pretty sensitive information, as well as being in a position of so much influence within the Cipher community. So there are a few things. Basically, before you actually nominate yourself to be up for voting for election in the Council of Nine, you must actually make your identity known to the Cipher core team, basically the command room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tin, Pico. So just to let everyone know and just to assure you, the information will be kept strictly confidential. So the only thing that the candidate requires to release to the community would be their real name and whatever other information they wish to release, like their expertise, their skills that could help their nomination. That's up to them, right? The second thing that we considered was alignment of interests. Basically, we believe that the Council of Nine should always be in possession of at least one Cipher NFT. You,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit hard to say that you stand for the interest of the community when you are not vested in it in any way. So that's another requirement. There's also a time commitment. We foresee this to be um, we foresee that there requires to be some time where the council needs to get together to make some decisions. So it's a requirement right now that we're setting of about 14 hours a week of dedication to the council. The next thing would be communication ability. Because we'll be multinational, right? We need a common language. So we're actually using English. So we prefer our council members to be conversant in English. Two other points. Basically, uh, just to marry both of them is avoidance of conflict of interest. Basically, if you have a family member or relative in the um, Council of Nine, you're not eligible to join, as well as if you hold a lead position in another project like a community manager or owner, um, just to avoid the conflict of interest, you are also not eligible to the Council of Nine. Yeah, those are the minimum requirements that the Council of Nine has. Hope that
Thanks,
clarifies.
Julian. Yep, that does actually. So, pretty intensive role, of course, but also quite rewarded as well, right? So, besides the Council of Nine, of course, our town members or our Nexus members also get to benefit from this Nexus program, of course, right? Besides the builders, the financiers, and of course, the Cypherian Council, what do everyday normal members? How can they participate in the Nexus program? Tin, you want to start off?
Sure. I think for me, I would imagine that the everyday member would just be very active in a Discord. And then when the game is getting towards like a beta release, then being active as a beta player, giving feedback, and then giving ideas on okay, with this game, with this kind of gameplay, characters, what kind of information, tooling that the community by itself can build to enhance the play experience, can the community build like a Wikipedia that will help like new players get better at the game? Maybe like a farming guide on where they can farm in different dungeons, how to best tackle certain dungeons, certain play style, certain character play style, skills. I think all those are like really good just general ideas that the daily Cipher members can voice their ideas to or make a proposal to the Council of Nine in order to get funding to build this kind of tooling and resources. Yeah.
Thanks, Din. So, besides these, providing these ideas as well, we also came up with a nano chip program, right? True. Would you like to elaborate a bit more on how the nano chips actually work to the advantage of our everyday members, or how can they use these nano chips?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, when we say nano chips, this is going to be a sort of offline. Not it's not really a token, I guess. So it's essentially like a pointing system within our Discord, and these will be so members will be able to obtain these in different ways. So one of them being if you are a builder and you have spent time in working or making a project or initiative possible, then essentially you will be awarded a certain amount of nano chips that you can utilize. Um, Also, you can participate, like if you're not a builder, if and you're somehow helping or providing ideas to the builders, that could be another way. So also participating in regular events. So let's say that there is like a Twitter raid or like even voting on certain proposals or the Council of Nine, that could potentially be awarded for nano chips as well. Volunteer time, we are considering, so those individuals that are volunteers, for example, a lot of our mods are volunteers, and there will be another role called adjudicators, which will be essentially the ones that are awarding all of these nano chips, since they'll be the ones that are in the watch, observing our community and awarding them the nano chips based on their contributions. And so these are volunteers as well, so they could be compensated with nano chips. We're also planning on implementing a Cypherian and Mod of the Month, which is essentially, our normal members that go above and beyond. They will be nominated by the Cipher team, and also same for the mods. And there will be also like different special events, quests, activities, etc., which will allow our members to earn some of these nano chips. And then in terms of where they can use them, as I said, this is essentially like a pointing system within the Discord. So there will be different stores, and they will be within our Discord server channels, and each of these different stores will have different quote unquote items that are purchasable, including like tickets for raffles, private sale passes, or even free Genesis ciphers. And there's also different titles that can be earned or accumulating a certain amount of nano chips, which will also come with their own perks.
Thanks, Drew. So as long as I'm a member of the community and I actively participate and contribute to Cipher, I have a chance of earning nano chips, and I have a chance of earning these rewards, right? Which are private sale passes and free Genesis Inus and stuff like that, right? Is there anything else to add on to nano chips, Elion?
No, actually, True basically covered all of them. Yeah,
Tin,
I think we're good.
do you have any comment on this part?
Yeah, I
Nano
mean,
chip?
yeah, for me, it's very important to reiterate or to repeat the point that this is not a token.
Mm-hmm.
It will not be a token. It's a like a membership points or Discord point system where we want to use to basically track and reward the big contributors in our community. There are many reasons for why it's not a token, for which I will not go into detail. But basically, we are preparing Cypher for the long haul, for a great gaming future. So we don't want to take any kind of risk that could damage or affect our community, our members, and most importantly, the release of the game. Yeah.
Thanks, Tin. So, any closing remarks on the Nexus program, guys, before we move on to the Dutch auction, of course? Elian, you want to start? Any closing remarks on the Dutch auction?
Yeah, there's some questions that we've not
Mhm.
exactly answered, so might as
Mhm.
well take this time to address them, right? So
Mhm.
Deep Sea Cipher just asked basically, how do we exactly submit a project proposal? So just to share with the community right now, we're actually drafting a template for you guys to actually fill in some details on how to actually submit a project proposal for consideration by the Council of Nine. We'll update it. We'll update the atlas, of course, once it's there, and we'll let people know. The second question would be how to actually donate and sign up to be a financier of Cypheria. So for that case, again, there are a few ways, like True has actually previously mentioned, right? How to do that. One of the ways is actually to make a donation. Of course, you have to connect with the Council of Nine first. Make a donation of 3 ETH minimally to the community wallet. That would get you a financier of Cypheria position. Or if you've decided to fund your own project and build your own team, and if the community believes that it's of value, you may be awarded the financier of Cypheria as well, right? One thing to highlight about the financiers of Cypheria is that um, it need not be just a, okay, how do I put this? Right. The projects that you decide to work on as a financier of Cypheria in partnership with the Council of Nine can give you a return if the Council of Nine is actually uh, agreeable with you. For example, if you decide to make a project based on Cipher, let's say you know how we have Loot right now, right, in the NFT sphere. So if let's say you decided to come up something like a Cypherian Loot, okay, percentages of that secondary sales or even the main sale itself could potentially be discussed between you and the Council of Nine. And if everyone comes to an agreement, it can be pushed out. So it's not that the financiers of Cypheria are just doing pure donations alone.
Thanks, Elian. True, do you have any closing remarks for the Dutch auction? Sorry, for the Nexus program?
I think we covered pretty much everything. If there's anything else that you guys have questions on, I would suggest keep adding those into the Dutch Auction Nexus questions channel right under the Nexus Hub, and we will be able to continue answering those. And also, if you haven't read it, again, I'll make mention that go to the Get Started channel and look for the Nexus expansion program link, which provides a lot more details than what we just mentioned.
Yep. So another reason why we converted this AMA to a fireside chat, right, was that True and Ariel was going to the channel and answering every question almost. So we had to convert it, right? So any questions you have, please do feel free to add into the Dart Auction channel, like what True mentioned. Yeah. Tin, do you have any closing remarks for the Nexus program?
Yeah, I just want to repeat again that the Nexus program is meant to serve our community. It's an idea. It's very early stage. It's gonna have a lot of implementation problems, hiccups along the way. So please, treat it with an open arm. Don't shoot it down in its infancy. Let's figure it out. Let's build. Let's make probably is one of the first like community oriented project at this scale that any game has tried to do. So yeah, I'm just hoping that everyone will support it. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Tin. So, of course, with the Nexus program comes a community wallet. But building a community wallet is, of course, starting from the Dutch auction, the Neko Mint, right, on the 30th of October. So, let's say, for example, there's a 5-year-old child who wants to come and mint the Neko and don't know what is Dutch auction. How would you explain to this 5-year-old child, Ariel?
Okay. A Dutch auction is essentially basically um, let's say we have 6,000 Cipher Necos for sale, right? We actually start at a initial price which actually then goes down in price as the time passes, right? The purpose of a Dutch auction in general is basically price discovery. But in our world, basically, when we're working with the Ethereum blockchain, the Dutch auction itself also has the side effect of, based on the data that we have looked at, right, has a side effect of actually lowering gas costs. So, yeah, I hope that clarifies what a Dutch auction is first. Sorry, I went into gas.
I think you wanna share a bit more about Dutch auction in a very simplified way, so that anyone can know what is it.
I think Erlon covered, but Dutch auction is actually not a new concept, right? It's been done
Mm-hmm.
many times before. It came from the traditional, like, in the physical world, right? Like when you have like stocks or goods, and the whole point of Dutch auction is to encourage true price discovery, right? True price discovery using the mechanic of which Erlon just mentioned. And what is particularly fascinating and interesting in crypto, in blockchain, is also that a few projects before have implemented Dutch auction, and the outcome have been able to avoid a lot of wasted gas that are basically gone to the miners, because of the way Ethereum is as a blockchain is being programmed, is being made, right? So that's one of the the interesting idea that we picked up from Dutch auction, and why that piqued our interest into to dive much deeper on the implementation aspect of it. To make it a bit more complicated, or to make it a bit more advanced for the listener, is that I think Dutch auction, the whole idea is not to sell at zero point 0.9, right? I mean, that's not the intention. The intention is to spread, the supply out on a curve, so that more people can choose the price that they value this good, and which in this case is the Cipher Nego, that they're happy to pay for. And by doing this, we hope to avoid the crazy demand or the crazy gas prices that some people were being forced to pay back in the Cipher Inu minting date. Yeah.
So when we talk about, of course, the Ethereum chain, and of course doing a Dutch auction to lessen the impact of gas wars, right? Tin, you mentioned you explored some other sources as well, like Immutable or Polygon. What is the state of that environment there? And could you elaborate a bit
Yeah.
more on that, and why we decided
Yeah.
to stick with Ethereum for now?
Yeah, I think well, for my research and our discussion with a few members and people that I know who are been around crypto for a long time, is that Immutable, even though it's a very interesting technology, and we're actually meeting with the one of the CTO next week in preparation for in exploration for the game, and the game tech stack. It's still quite in its early days. There has not been many sort of like proven projects on it, and that the vast majority of the community are still very unsure or like unfamiliar with the tech stack or with Immutable. And with Polygon, it's a different aspect altogether, right? I mean, I think like notable, reputable, or like large value projects tend to or prefer to stay on Ethereum just because of its trusting nature. Or I mean, like it's security is what I meant. And so because of those two constraints, so to speak, that's why we chose to remain on Ethereum for the security aspect of things, and then choose to go with Dutch auction to minimize the gas impact.
Thanks, Tin. So, with, of course, the deterring the bots and also reducing the effect of gas wars, right? We also are building a foundation for the community wallet via the Dutch auction. Drew, would you like to elaborate on how the Dutch auction actually contributes to the community wallet for the Nexus program?
Yeah, sure. So essentially for how we're gonna implement the Dutch auction is essentially, it'll follow the normal Dutch auction system, which has a higher starting price, which will be 0.9 ETH, and then will programmatically decrease in 0.05 decrements every 10 minutes. So the way that we are going to kind of like merge these two together is essentially anything that sells, so any netco that sells over zero point 0.1 ETH, the additional proceeds from that will be split. So a quarter of that will be going into the community wallet.
Thanks, True. So, of course, there are a lot of potential risks and benefits to Dutch auction as well. What are some of the risks of a Dutch auction? And would like to elaborate what are some of the risks in this type of auction environment?
Right. There are risks. Okay, so there are risks for buying in early. There are risks for buying in late as well. So maybe I'll talk about the lower price points first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um, as with most Dutch auctions, usually people try to wait for the lowest price possible, and this actually creates a situation whereby people actually pump the gas, right, and actually pay a lot more in gas to actually acquire their NFT at a listed price, a lower listed price.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
However, based on if you look at the article, we actually did some um, number crunching, right? We actually found out that the majority of people who wait till the very, very, very last moment essentially are just paying about the same price in both, the same total price for the NFT plus gas at the end of it all. So, and at the same time, right, you actually take a lot of risk because if your gas that you have increased is not high enough, you actually risk the NFT actually completely selling out. So that's another
Mm.
problem there. So yeah, benefits, you get buy at a lower purchase price, yes. However, you assume the risk of the NFT selling out, and you assume the risk of getting caught in a massive gas war that still causes your average buy-in to be about the same as people who bought in earlier. Yeah,
So, in summary, if I want to wait until the last minute to buy, right, I am the risk of still getting a gas war and still paying an absurd amount of fee, correct?
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay, okay,
So
noted.
our appeal would be consider consider spreading it out. Or of course, this is ultimately up to your own decision. It's not financial advice, right? Um,
Mhm.
but just note that waiting till the very last moment is not necessarily a very good idea.
Noted on that. Thanks, Elion. Tin, of course, in this particular Dutch auction, we're not having all 10,000 units in the first go, correct? You want to elaborate a bit more on that? How much are we getting available for the public mint, and then after that, the private mint, and after that, the free mint?
Yeah, so the detail has already been published, but you can read more on that in the announcements and the Notion. But
Mm-hmm.
we're essentially we have 6,000 ready for the Dutch auction, and then the remainder will be split into those remaining baskets for our private sales and also for the free mints from the Guild Masters program.
Thanks, Tin. So for the public auction to come first, right? Of course, we have to take into consideration there are two groups of people who are the whitelisters and then the free minters. Drew, do you want to elaborate on how does the minting process go?
I'm sorry. So you said for the private list and the free mints?
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, I'll kind of explain it with timing too. So on October 30th, I believe it's 1:30 a.m. UTC time. Um, that's when the Dutch auction or public sale will start. It'll last approximately like 3 hours. And then afterwards, the private sale will begin. And the private sale will essentially include those that made it to the whitelist and those that have the free, or not the free, sorry, the private sale slots from the Guildmaster program. So they will have 24 hours to mint their necos essentially, and then after these 24 hours are done, then it'll move into the free mints for the Guildmaster program, and that will also last 24 hours. Everything will essentially be done in the website. For kind of like to provide some sort of insight on how we're planning to have the website look, as you know, the Dutch auction will be reflected on the website. It'll tell you like which price point is currently the Dutch auction is currently at, and people will be able to purchase however many NFTs they want at whichever of the price points it is currently. And but there's going to be a limit of 5 per transaction and wallet. And then so after the Dutch auction ends, the website will pretty much transition and open up the minting for those that are private, and then 24 hours after for the free mints, as I explained already.
Thanks, True. So, Tin, for this existing Dutch auction model, right? How do you actually generally feel about it? And are we gonna use the Dutch auction for future races as well? Do you know any idea on that?
Yes, I mean, for me, I'm a student. I consider myself a student, meaning that I'll learn from all the other projects that are currently or have already done something or currently doing something. And I don't think it's guaranteed that we'll do another Dutch auction. Because we have to measure how well this one turned out and whether the goals that we set out when we chose to do Dutch auction will be achieved. There's one point I can say though is that whatever we do is in order to have the best possible UX with the least like minimize the least kind of like damage due to the to everyone due to the inherent nature of Ethereum network, right? And that's the same kind of thinking and mindset that we are also applying when we're currently developing our blockchain architecture for the game. Yeah.
Thanks, Tin. Elion, do you have any closing remarks on the Dutch auction?
Not in particular, but we'd like to address one question that actually arose in the Dutch auction Nexus questions, right, early on. So someone actually asked if, let's say, I put in a purchase at 0.5 for my Neko, right? But I did not put in sufficient gas. And my transaction only goes through when the price of the Neko actually drops to 0.4. What happens? Do I overpay? So based on what we understand from our blockchain developers, no. What will happen is 0.4 will be taken from your transaction, and the other 0.1 will go back to your wallet. So no, you do not overpay. Yeah, that's a clarification that we wanted to bring up.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, so even
Excellent
if
point.
sorry, Tin. Even if I pay 0.9, and it goes down to, if I'm waiting for too long, right? And the transaction only goes through at 0.7, I'll be refunded 0.2, right? Just to be
That's
clear,
correct.
right?
Yep, that's
Okay,
correct.
can note on that. Thank you. True, do you have any closing remarks for the Dutch auction?
Yeah, some additional questions I've seen. So somebody asked if the Nekos minted are random. Yep. So so it's essentially the same as if we had a pre-sale and then a public sale. Everything that is minted is randomized, and also it will not be revealed until, like, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think it should be like 48 hours after the free mint for the guild masters. And then I feel like I saw another question around here. Oh, and another question was, do we need 2 wallets if we have 2 whitelist spots, one from Charms and one from Guildmaster program? So you can do it all in one wallet if that is the wallet that you have provided. So if you held the 3 or more Enus in your wallet as of the Guildmaster program snapshot, and that is the same wallet that you provide for your whitelisting spots, you will pretty much be able to do everything from one wallet.
Thanks, True. At this point, of course, in further add on to the Dutch auction, right? We mentioned quite some time ago that we are going to have some tier-based rewards for the Dutch auction. Tin, do you want to give a brief idea on what are these? What are tier-based rewards? Just a
I
brief
should
one.
be I should be asking you because you're the man in charge. But okay, I can. But
I can also, but yeah, maybe
yeah,
I don't know. You want me to say?
uh, yeah, please, please.
So, tier-based rewards, right, are actually rewards that are provided to buyers who want to buy at some higher tier prices. For example, at 0.9 or 0.85, right? They are awarded something called a diamond tier, right? So, diamond tier comes with limited edition, for example, figurines that are only available to diamond tier members, right? So for a person who's buying at 0.9 or 0.85, not only do you contribute to the community wallet, but you also contribute and get something for yourself, reward for yourself in terms of figurine, in terms of titles. And do you want to elaborate on the Hall of Fame at this point? What is the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so I imagine the Hall of Fame. I used to I used to watch like Harry Potter, right? And then there's like the Hogwarts, kind of like all the wizards being displayed, all on the wall there, right? All the famous wizards of the past. And I think
Mhm.
that image really stuck with me. And also in high school, there was this concept of the Hall of Fame for prefects. Prefects are mainly are like what, like
Mm.
goody, like good students, I guess, of the year. So actually, my name is actually on it. Actually, just a fun
Your
fact
name is
there.
on it, is it?
Yeah, so my
Didn't even
name
know that,
is
Roger.
forever immortalized in my high school. Just in case anybody wants to know. um,
No one wants to know, but thank you very much for telling us.
that was a fail flex, huh? So yes, the idea is that we want to immortalize the supporters, basically the ones who went out of their way to firstly contribute significantly to the community wallet, um, to alleviate the gas pressure that the other remaining communities member have to pay, and we'll try to keep their names inside Cyphera and in this Hall of Fame building where I envision once the game has like a 3D roaming mode, you can roam around and you can see like the names of these amazing contributors on this Hall of Fame into separate tiers, like what Chris was saying. Yeah.
Yep, so there's not only one tier, guys, there's a few tiers here. So there's diamond, platinum, gold, and silver. So doesn't mean that you need to buy at 0.9 or 0.85 to qualify for diamond tier. If you can't qualify for diamond tier, you can always qualify for platinum tier, which is a few tiers down, a few price points down. And of course, if you can't kind of qualify for platinum tier, you can qualify for gold or silver tier, which is a few other price points down. So for more details on the rewards for all of these tiers, do stay tuned, right? We'll be giving you guys an announcement soon, okay? Anything you guys want to elaborate on tier rewards earlier on or true?
Can you elaborate on like whether if they mint it at like a certain tier and they sell the NFT, what will happen, Crip?
Okay, so what we are planning to do is to tie these rewards, right, to the wallet, right? So, for example, if you minted at something at 0.9, but you sell the NFT at 0.9, you would still be able to keep the rewards in, right? Because it's tied to your wallet, right? So, you still can receive the rewards via your wallet address. So, if
So
you
meaning that the new buyer of the NFT, the secondary buyer, will not get a reward, right? Just to clarify.
the secondary buyer will not get a reward because it's
Right.
tied to the wallet address only. So it
Right.
is not tied to the NFT. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, correct. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Ellen, True, anything to elaborate on the tier rewards, guys?
Yeah, I think there were some questions, or rather, maybe just for clarification, right? Some people were
Mm-hmm.
asking, why was it that we're doing a private sale now after the Dutch auction rather than,
Mm-hmm.
back then we were saying pre-sale? So, does True want to elaborate on this?
Sure. Yeah. So from what we've identified based on our, our case study and looking at other NFT projects that launched a similar Dutch auction system launch, there are some issues that could arise if we were to continue to have a pre-sale and then have the public Dutch auction. So, like Tim mentioned earlier, the Dutch auction, the main purpose of it is the nature of the prize discovery. So, if we were to have a pre-sale as we did earlier, essentially what we've noticed from other projects is that this can unfortunately lead to people like that already had their NFTs from the pre-sale. They will list their NFTs at a certain price, and what happens is that the Dutch auction price or the purchase price that people get in on can be affected and can follow that price of the secondary market being OpenSea, which is the pre-sale people. So what we're trying to do here is promote a natural price discovery for the Dach auction, and to do that, it needs to be a private sale that happens after the Dutch auction. But I would say for those that are whitelisted or have concerns of like, oh, I wish I could have it before, one of the benefits that you can see is, hey, you'll still get to purchase your NFT even if it's after the Dutch auction. It doesn't matter what price the Dutch auction was, you will still be able to mint your NFTs at 0.1 if you were private listed in the private sale, or free if you were in the Guildmaster. So you have that benefit.
Yeah,
And
just
you have
to
way
add,
more time as well, right, Leon?
Right.
yeah, just to add on one more point, right? Our
Mhm.
private sale members, you have the choice basically right now whether you
Mhm.
want to mint or not after you
Mhm.
assess the outcome of the Dutch auction. So that is an additional benefit that you guys can consider as well.
Just to clarify, our team community wallet will be minting another 500, right? Then from
Correct.
Yep. So we'll be minting 500 first to our community wallet. So for those of you who see 500 go to one wallet address, do not be mistaken that it is a bot or whatsoever. Yeah, it is minted to directly to our community wallet. Okay. Next, do we want to release some alpha news on the seasonal NFT, guys?
I think so.
When do
I
you
think
guys?
so. Again, I think it's a great
Yeah.
program. I'm so
Mhm.
excited for it. Wanna take the honor?
Sure. Okay. So, Cipher NFTs, or in another word, we are going to launch this program called Cipher Cares, right? So, Cipher Cares, the main objective is to give back to the community, right? And to charities and to the less fortunate. And our objective is also to bring social awareness to many of the problems around the world. So, I believe a lot of us in the blockchain industry or who invested in cryptos really benefited a lot, but a lot of people over the COVID-19 season or who have been affected are very suffering in some ways. Yeah. So me, Tin, Elion, and True with some other team members, Peak also came up with this program to actually give back to the community, right? So by how we're going to do this is, first of all, we're going to launch something called a seasonal NFT, right? So a seasonal NFT is a periodic launch of a special NFT that will be a one out of one, right? So no one else will be able to see an NFT like that, and it will have its own collection on OpenSea, right? So for this coming release, which will be released in probably the next 2 days, our first ever seasonal NFT, what we are going to launch is the special Nurse Neko, guys. Nurse Neko. What do you guys think about that?
Ooh.
Do you guys see
Excited,
Nurse
man.
Neko?
Yeah,
I'm
we do.
getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man. Would
Yeah.
she be? Would she be like Halloween type of nurse, or like proper nurse?
This is the proper nurse. We are giving back to charity, right?
Oh,
So we
come
wanted a
on.
proper nurse. So we discussed on the graphics for the nurse, and of course how the nurse would look like, right? So thank you so much to our art team as well, who did an amazing design for the nurse Neko. I can't wait to show it to you guys. Yeah. Yeah. So the cost for this season would be, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? So October is Breast Cancer Awareness. So what we want to do is 100% of the proceeds for this special NFT, right, would go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Okay. So how this will be held is there will be a special auction that will be held for this Nurse Neko in our separate collection, and then users, anyone can go and choose to bid for this Nurse Neko, right? And this Nurse Neko will also get some special benefits, guys. Do you read about it, Aaron? The special benefits? What do you think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
those?
I did. I think they're really amazing. You guys are in for a treat. Whoever manages to acquire the Nurse Neko, yeah, you are one lucky person, man.
You're one lucky son of a patient, man.
So the Nurse Neko, of course, once we have the link ready, right, we will launch it formally, right? But just to tell you guys, some of the benefits will be you will of course retain all the benefits of a Genesis Neko, right? Meaning to say that you can use this Nurse Neko and still participate in the game, right? Another thing is you will be guaranteed a private min slot for all future races, right? You will be guaranteed a private min slot for all future races. You will have a special title in game, right? Which you will know once we release the news. And whatever the Nurse Neko is wearing, right, you will not be able to use it in game, guys. So please do not mistake on that, yeah. Uh, Anything else to add on this Nurse Neko, Leon or True or Tin?
I just wanna give like a word of advice for our male gendered members here that
Mm-hmm.
you know be careful for what you wish for, yeah, when it comes to Nurse Neko. You know, you might be very surprised.
Yeah, I will say based on the art that I saw, I really loved it. I kind of felt like I should purposely break an arm or something just to get treated by that Neko. That's all I'll say.
Are there any closing remarks
No,
on
I'm
the season
good,
NFT?
man.
So
I'm just imagining True breaking his arm right now.
So once this collection launches, right, guys, we will of course make an announcement for it. Please do hope you can help us to support this cause and give back to the charities, yeah, and hope we all can make a positive impact and make the lives of
Mhm.
our fellow men better, yeah. So there will be also periodic launches of other seasonal NFTs as well, and the next one will be coming up Christmas, yeah. So the auction will close for this on the 31st of October 1300 hours UTC. Okay, so that's all from my end. Anything else to add on, guys? Any closing remarks? Our fireside chat is about to come to an end. Anything else to say to the community? Ellen, you want to start first?
Just to bring up one point that we actually noticed, right, that there might be some
Mm-hmm.
confusion about the Council of Nine and whether it applies to our main game down the line. Maybe Tin, do you want to clarify this point?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I got cut
Uh,
off for a bit.
oh yeah, no problem. Basically, there's some confusion from the community whether the Council of Nine will manage anything within the game
Right,
itself, like
right, right,
whether
right,
it's
right.
game mechanics or
Right, right,
whatnot.
right, right, right. I understand. Okay, thanks for the question. Yeah, I think it's an important point as well. So just to clarify, the Council of Night was created in the with the idea of managing community based activities that will benefit the communities both in real life and both within the so-called the Discord, you know, Twitter, all the activations, all the toolings, all the web like Wikipedia sites that help new players, beginners guides, meetups, that kind of thing, right? It was never meant to be like a governance system, so to speak, to control game mechanics because you know, as you know, building a game is hard. Building a great game with great mechanics is harder, and building a well-balanced game is extremely hard. So there are certain things that we, as a game, you know, developer, me as a world architect, would try to keep and maintain for the foreseeable future until we get the game on a good path. So it's definitely very different than like other kind of like projects where they might have like a DAO that will govern like the way the game works. So it's very different from that, and I want to be very clear on that. So its main purpose, like I said, is for the enrichment of communities' well-being when it comes to all the other aspects outside of the game. Yeah.
Thanks, Tin. True, do you have any closing remarks for this fireside chat?
Yeah, so I guess I just want to say I'm really excited for everything that's to come. Curious to see how the auction works and plays out. I would say just a word of advice. If you haven't already, again, read that article, and I would say uh, prepare yourselves for this dox auction as best as you can. Try to find, let's say, a price that you're willing to pay. Look at the graphs and try to plan it out. Just because the better you are prepared, the better potential outcome that you can have from this. Um, Also, very excited for the Nexus expansion program, and am glad that the community will be essentially the creators and builders of the community itself, and bring benefits and value to it. And yeah, super excited about the one of one seasonal NFT, and that donation to the breast cancer awareness, or I forgot the name of
Research
the,
Foundation. Research
yes,
Foundation.
the research foundation. Yes, I'm excited about everything, honestly. So thank I just want to thank everybody for their time, and also the for staying with us since day one, a lot of them.
So for those of you who are not sure where to find the link for the Nexus program and the Dark Auction, right? I'm sending it to the Nexus Hub now. You can refer to the Discord channel where we made the announcement. Yeah. Uh, Also, a few things. We are going to have the tier-based rewards that are going to be announced soon. So diamond tier, platinum tier, gold tier, silver tier. What will be the price point for these tiers, and what will be the rewards for these tiers? And also, of course, we will also release the news on the season NFT, the first ever Nurse Neko soon, right? So hope you guys can get in on the auction and win this amazing NFT. Yeah. Next thing, of course, Tin. Any closing remarks just to end off our fireside chat today?
Sure. So like always, thank you for tuning in. You guys are amazing. Um, for me, I'm personally like I cannot contain my excitement for the news that will come. It was supposed to come today, but it will come next week on the 26th. I'm super I'm so excited for it because it's been a long time coming. The team has worked extremely hard for it. The community has helped us so much in achieving that. It's a milestone for all of us. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. That's number one. Number two, of course, the Neko launch, Neko Mint. I think that is fantastic. The way we structure it. But again, we're learning, so we want to test it. We want to see how it works. If it works good, we'll implement it again. If it doesn't, we'll improve it. We'll find some other ways. We'll keep trying. Um, I saw in the chat someone asked about the war, right? The current state of our faction wars, and my God, like the coronations, the passion for the faction wars are amazing. I mean, I saw the art. I mean, I saw people trying to like throw in some names of our community head of community Peekaboo there. So I saw that. That's pretty funny. And I also saw the frustration from some of the members because they keep getting sabotaged, which I also found very frustrating. Like we're supposed to, it's supposed to be a friendly war, but in the end, I guess when you say war, it means war, right? So don't count on the Shade winning. I think even though the Shade faction does have an advantage, but all the other factions are having great art, great work, and you don't need to be the biggest to win. So I'm rooting for all of you. And then lastly is yeah, congrats to all of us because Bitcoin and just made the all-time high, and Ethereum is also going for it, and I think with crypto, with blockchain, we're all super early, guys. We're very very early. Pace yourself for the long run. Don't overinvest. Don't spend way more than you can afford to lose. Pick the right projects, pick the right team. But again, even if it's the right team, even if it's Cipher, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because I think the best advice anyone can give you. And yeah, and just take care until the 26th, guys. And I think it'll be massive. And then we'll probably do like, I don't know, like maybe Crypt, maybe we'll do like a oh my god, who sent that photo? We'll do a like a quick fireside chat when it comes to the investor news announcement. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I'll announce more on the Fireside chat after we
Yeah.
get some investment details sorted out. We'll definitely have a chat on that, Tin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that picture in the Nexus Hub is not the Neko nurse that you'll be minting, just FYI.
Hey, if that was the Neko nurse, I think many of our community members would be excited, man. Are we gonna do a Tin NFT soon? Tin, would you be up for it?
No, no, I already minted myself to my wife. Oh, and by the way, happy Women's Day.
Oh,
Happy
uh,
Women's Day to the better half of the world. Hope you guys are having a great time. You guys deserve it. So
thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. So many new news coming up, and so many exciting news coming up. Investor news, season NFTs, more news on Dutch auction, and so many things. Yeah. So hope you guys stay tuned and enjoy yourself in the Nexus Hub, and of course, do try your best to get the whitelist slots. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. That's all. Take care and have a great night. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Thank
thank
you.
you, everyone.